Well, this morning I am going to complete this painting that you can see on the screen there. But I saw this fabulous snow scene, which I think is an old master, an old Swedish or Norwegian master. But I thought I'm going to have a go at capturing this. Got slightly different format, of course, so I'm going to have to make some changes and adaptations. But it's so beautiful how it catches obviously the perspective, but the colours, the coolness, these lovely trees. But look at this shadow here, how they've created this form of the snow. So I think when you paint snow, of course, it's not just white, it reflects all sorts of colours. Can you see sort of purples in there? Can you see purples and little blues and darker colour blue here to give that channel? And we've got a guy on a sledge there and his pony pulling him along there. I've got in the barn, but I need to do some changes. I think I need to make it bigger, put some doors and some details. And I think I need to bring in these trees here. So let's crack on and see what I can make of it. Now the question is, what do I tackle first of all? I think, well, my sky is not right, of course. It's just it's nice and cool, but it's a little bit boring. So I think I'm going to put a darker streak in there. But I think I've got to try and do something about this bank here. So I'm going to I need to make this a little deeper, I think. I need to put some more tree in here as well. And perhaps bring something across here. Now I've got a much smaller brush, which I'll try in a minute, but let's just bring some colour in, I think. I don't want it to be too dark because I don't want to bring it forward, but I think I can got some browns and some sienna there. But I want to keep it sort of airy as well, which is what you need with watercolour to really make it work. I've got a smaller brush here. I'm using these Chinese brushes, or calligraphy brushes really, but they work very well actually to give some fine lines in. I might have a go at doing this in oil at some point as well. I like to do that sometimes, try things in different mediums. You learn a lot from doing that. Of course, each medium has its unique elements. Which draw you to it, you know. Sometimes I'm in the mood for doing watercolour. Sometimes oil. But they're all quite unique in their individuality. I think I need to bring this in a little bit. This will help draw the eye more into the focal point when this is barn, is what I'm trying to emphasize a little bit. Sort of wispy bits come off as well. Right, let's take it out there a little bit. Let's get that barn a little bit bigger, I think. I mean, I'm quite happy with the way it is in a way now. The shape is right. But because of the scale, I think I need to raise it up a little bit here. I think make the barn generally a lot bigger. Right, now we could a little bit more red, make it bigger, round really. This right. I think I can bring in now so the branch is over. If you put one form over the other, it can push it back a little bit, is what I want to do. Oh, also, I've just noticed there's a tree here. So let's try and see if we can get that. Showing a little bit better, yes. Some finer branches here and there. I need to make that a little bit darker. So I use some ultramarine and some raw sienna or burnt umber to make it a little darker. Don't usually use straight black out of the tube. Oh, that's a bit better. Yes, I think we can. Right. Let's say we've got trees here. I think I could make Some of these a bit darker too. Yes, that's coming along. But I think I need to perhaps make this rocky outcrop a little bit bigger. A bit of dry brush as well. But I've got an awful lot of space here. I've got to deal with that in some way. I think I just need to bite the bullet and put some marks in there. That's it. Some darks. There's all sorts of marks here to help lead your eye into the picture really. But I think I'm going to get some bluey colours going, bluey greys. This needs to be more in the shadow, so we'll use some of that and try and give some form to this snowbank which I've got here. Try and give some form there, and hope you can see that. I get some reflections from it. Yes, I think we need it's got too much here. Fences here. We need to get some of those blues going as well. Some shadowy colours. So let's go get some more cerulean. Oh yes, that's a nice coolish blue which we need. That's it. And I need some redder colours coming this way. That's better, it's coming along. And we've got to get some shadows going across, so get some sort of purpley colours that are coming from these trees. So that's a mixture of bit of cadmium red actually, and a little bit of cerulean. Right. Those shadows go up this curve of this bank. Right. I think it's coming along a little bit, but I've got to put something in that sky up there as well. Actually, I could have a little bit of purpley colour. I need a deeper colour there, trying to suggest that curve of that ditch as it comes here. That's it. We got some shadows going now. I think we could put some darker colour in there. Good to set a dark colour off against the lighter one. Suggest some buildings there. Right. But now, as I said, I need something in this sky. I think I'm going to take some cerulean, a little bit of umber, just a hint of it, because I want to go. I'm going to have to bite the bullet here. A little bit broken, the sky there. And a different blue as well. That's just got that darkish blue there. So I want a nice clean cerulean now, just to put in this area. I think we need to do that. So let's make sure we got a really clean brush and some nice cerulean. And I've got to remember, of course, that watercolor dries so much lighter. Can you see it's bleeding down there? So I want to leave a little bit of sky there. Now let's see, how is that? Go to work there. I see a bit of sky there. Let's step back a bit now. Should I have a little bit more blue in the higher up in the sky? Very pale. Oh my word, this is the nervy bit. So you have to be a bit bold when you do watercolor. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's a disaster. But as I say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So, well, that's not so bad. But the thing is, you mustn't fiddle with it too much. But I need to soften that, perhaps. That line there. Yes, leave it. Yes, sometimes you have to say to yourself, don't fiddle. That's when it goes wrong sometimes. I think I need a darker track along here. A little rutted area. So I'm looking carefully at my reference to see what it is. It's a real mixture of colours. I just think sometimes it's the tone that counts as much as anything. If you get the tone right, it doesn't matter so much with the colour on some times anyway. So I've got to put that track here, that pony in there, I think. That's not easy to get that right. So this is going to be darker, yeah. Yes, that can do it. Right. Let's get some ultramarine mixed with a little bit of that umber. Make that a bit darker, and I think we can put a few marks here to help define the hedge on there, I think. Right. Let's get some more blue going. The hint of red. Get some more shadow colour in there. Yes. Right, now I think I should try and get that horse in. I mean, it's crying for something in this middle ground, isn't it? I've just got to get that in. So I think I have to just go for it, really. Perhaps I'll sketch it first. Maybe get a pencil and... yes, I think perhaps I should do that before I commit to it. So let's have a look for my pencil, my mechanical pencil. That's what I need. And just get the shape in, really. See, I'm painting largely in impressionistic style, which is what I usually paint in, but I want the viewer to be able to identify this horse that I'm going to put in. So this is the tricky bit. So I'm having a little look. Can you see it there? So how do we do this? Right. I think, where do I want it? Here, I think. So let's just get the shape of that man, really. His little sledge. Just looking at it as a shape. I'll try not to think of it as a sledge and paint what I think a sledge looks like. So I've just got to try and focus on that shape. And the shafts of this pony on this harness. Do his head. See if we get his head in first. And he's got that shaft there. And the arch of his ears here, and the arch of his neck. And his hind quarters coming down. His chest here. His legs. I'll do one sort of bent. That helps if you have one bent. And this leg here, and his hind quarter, there's hind leg, down there. So I can roughly see now, but it's a whole different thing painting him. So again, I'm wondering whether I should ink it in, really. Why don't go for that? Got one of these Uniball pens, so I think I'm going to do that. Give me a bit more guidance. That's the shaft, his harness coming under there. And here, out for his morning sleigh ride. Yes, I give some shading. That might help define the form a little bit. He's got his big old chest here and his leg is trotting away. We'll bend that one down, show his hoof there. And this one will extend it a little bit. Well, he's got this harness here as well. His collar. And of course that comes, that shaft is coming there, isn't it? Okay. And actually while we've got our pen here, we could try and emphasize some of these. There's a door there on that big old barn there. Probably got one that side as well. I could put some highlights in, some gouache if necessary. If you give enough clues, your viewer will fill in the rest. So have I given enough clues there? Actually, when I've got this, I can do some fine marks as well. This one is got some fine lines on this tree. Right, now let's put a little colour into our sled driver. So I'll get that little tiny brush again, and I think we'll give him a nice, let's give him a nice blue, a nice brightish blue. Let's put the reference down a minute. Yes. What should we do? Let's give it cerulean blue. That's fairly thick mixture, I think. Can you see that? Cerulean there. A little bit of cobalt left there. And ultramarine there. So I've got three blues really. But right, this man is having a blue jerkin or jumper of some sort, and then we've got to give him something darker, of course, for his his breeches. So and our horse, of course, we've got to get him in. Got his collar around there, his ears. Belly under here. Legs, 4 legs there. There's that bent one. Try and show the hoof there, if we can. Right. Actually, we could put a bit of brown in. So let's get something, some sienna. Let's give him a nice brown colour. He's out in the cold. The old boy doing his job. You have something on the back there, yep. There's runners there. Right. I've got some fencing here. I want to add something in here. I try to make every part of the painting have some interest. So let's brighten up a bit here. I wonder if I could put some sort of gateway in there. Yes, I think I could. So let's get something that could be a stone pillar, sort of yellowy. So I've got some ochre here. So where should I put this? Let's put it somewhere where it will stand out a bit. I could get some gouache as well. So I've got a bit of Chinese white here though. Let's see if I can lighten that up a little bit. Yes, I think we can do that. And a bit of the wall as well. Make it different colours. Just give it some variety. Some wooden slats perhaps there. There you go. Just a little bit of it, additional interest really. Right. Now, how much more should I do? Have I got enough dark in those trees there, in the trunks, in the foreground? So I ask myself, let's ground this a little bit better. put some marks on it. The same here. Stand back and see if it's reading. What you've got to do is about light and dark, of course. That's what I need to say to myself. In fact, I'm going to put the gable end here. Help our eye read some of these buildings. And can I put some colour in? The trouble is when you look at well, this is a photograph of a real painting, of course, so not quite the case, but often when you try and capture a painting or make a painting from a photograph, you tend to miss a lot of colours in the shadows because the camera doesn't pick it up, but your eye does if you were out there. So I think we're going to just use a bit of artistic license here. Put a little bit of colour, why don't we? Now, have I got enough shadow for this? Cast shadow for this pony and that right driver. Let's give him a little bit more shadow, and the few trees in the background, perhaps little outline of something. But I think I should probably leave it. You always risk of overdoing a painting. When do you know it's finished? That's a question. I think when you're struggling to say, what else can I add? If you're doing that, it's probably time to stop. Right, now it's then standing back a bit now. I think I probably have done enough. Those few dark bits there help define that. Anyway, if you like this, please consider subscribing to my channel, because I like to get the feedback and it helps the channel grow as well. But if you hit the bell, the subscribe bell, then you'll be notified when I do some more work. So you'll get to see that. Also, if you've got any comments, I'd be interested to hear that, whether you paint or not. Straighten that out a little bit there. Right. A little bit of green, change of colour for that door there. I'm just thinking I need, perhaps I can make this gable end just a bit darker to help people view it easier. A couple of those there as well. Well, there you have it, a snowy scene in Scandinavia, in Norway. I've travelled in Norway and Sweden. It was lovely. I never saw anybody on a sledge drawn by a pony, but of course this is going back away. More likely to have seen people driving Volvos, of course, and Saabs. Anyway, thanks for watching.